you so much. So I think, let me be very frank and open with you. This keynote, I was not even aware that I have to do this keynote. And Ved is a brilliant guy, and with Dr. Anurag Batra around, I think I couldn't have ever refused what they asked me to do. Wouldn't say much. I was a part of the jury which oversaw all the nominations for this BW 40 under 40, and it was a whole day exercise and for around 8 hours, and we just went through some of the most brilliant presentations of the business models what we have seen across. I carry an experience of 28 years and worked on various business models. But one thing which I learned on Saturday when we were all looking at each of your presentations was a big phenomenon, which most of you might be aware as well, is that business outcomes are more, business results are more an outcome of the experiences what you give to the consumers, not the other way around. So whenever you start a business, you don't look at the end result. You just see what are the kind of the experiences you will deliver to the consumer over a period of a time. So it was enthralling the other day to look at each of you, presenting various business models across and doing a great amount of effort in order to make it a success as such. I won't take much time of yours. I would like to just talk about something which over the past 2 decades, 2.5 decades of my experience I've witnessed is, we have created so many new businesses, so many startups, what we call. And while we all talk about the efficacy of the startups, the scalability of the startups, one of the foremost and thing is that how has India evolved over these periods? It's completely different India than what it was in 2019. Much of the globe is like that as well. But one of the mindset changes, one of the shifts which we're seeing is a great amount of cultural mindset change, I would say. And unfortunately, one of my business leaders could not be a part of this this event of 40 under 40. But let me tell you, and I want to take you through what that business leader has done. I think it's probably revolutionized the concept of what a cultural change in the Indian mindset has happened over the past 1 decade and how he is utilized to create a business model. 5 minutes for that with your patience, please. So, if you talk about water is a very, very, a sensitive subject for Indians, because if you understand, we carry 17% of the world's population, but we just have 3% of the world's water resources. And out of those 3% of the world's water resources, 92% of the water is not potable at all. So as we are here, we are staring at a water crisis across the country. You all hear about that Bangalore was without water, a couple of days back. Chennai has been without water for, days together last year as such. And as you go across India, you see different qualities of waters across India. Somewhere the dissolved solvents will be high, there will be arsenic, and all other, metals which are poisonous in nature. So India is staring at, a possibility where the quality of the water is absolutely very, very poor. But still, let me tell you, despite all this, the Indian population, we have just 6 to 7% penetration of actual electric water purifiers in the country, which means 92 to 93% of the households don't have an electric water purifier. And all of you are, very much aware that the water which we come to our houses through our taps or municipality is not the best for the water. So what exactly was this reason, and how this reason got broken down into a cultural mindset which the Indians carried on is, in terms of ownership, is something which you can reckon. We started around 2 to 3 years and we really understood that what exactly were the problems of the consumers. The consumer was not happy buying a water purifier because he believed that after every year, when he buys a water purifier, he pays 40 to 50% of what he spends on the acquisition of the product in terms of building the service, what you call the annual maintenance contract. Crores of business people, crores of air conditioner companies and all those make tons of money out there. So that was a real pain. Besides, there were several sources of water which he believed was good. There was boiled water, there was, a so-called water filter which you put on the taps in the earlier days, which was called a 0B. And then there was all these plastic water bottles which are in front of you, itself a $5 billion market as such. So much of the Indians, which we realized was, there was a pain in the minds of the consumers. And what we started out was basically, this business leader started out was completely alien to an Indian mindset. And this alien mindset was that, Indians always believe in ownership. Indians believe in whatever they have in their home, whether it's a TV, whether it's a refrigerator or a washing machine or any other consumer durable, or a phone for that matter, is to be owned. You need ownership as such, and you're proud of your ownership of whatever you have, whatever means you have. And probably what this cultural mindset, what we saw was emanating, which I'm sure much of your business leaders should think about and bring about certain business models. And this is that the Indians, the millennials, is the young generation post the 1990s and 1995s, or rather say 2000 onwards, actually did not really believe that ownership is a great thing as such. They believed that they have access to various products and services, and they don't necessarily need to own it. And believe me, we actually started something called water as a service, where which actually believed that consumers will pay us as you go. They would have water as a service, which means water on subscription. When we thought about it, it's completely alien that we go across to a consumer's home, install the water purifier without any cost. We don't charge them anything. And then they start out a plan of, say, for example, 299, 399 rupees and goes to unlimited. And herein the consumers have actually evolved to such a significant extent that, he doesn't have to pay for any services any time after the year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. If he is working in Bangalore, he wants to shift to Gurgaon, we'll do it, the shifting at virtually absolutely no cost whatsoever, no acquisition cost, top quality water. These are all IoT machines, and real time we can diagnose the quality of the filters. The consumer does not have to worry about whether the quality of the filter has gone bad. We'll receive an alert on our CRM servers, and we can actually do an outbound calling and tell the consumer, look, your filter's going bad, can I come in and replace those? Completely seamless experience built on pure rental model, so to say. So the Indian consumer evolution in terms of consumer mindset change today, we have got more than 300,000 consumers, and we believe that we want to reach out to more than 10 million Indian consumers through the subscription economy and give purified solutions as such. So I think the original thought of what I told you about was business outcomes are more a result of the experiences what we give the consumer, was reflective in a complete mindset change today. And as we go to our consumers today, they say, why don't you start giving air conditioners on subscription? Why can't you give other products on subscription? So you're really overwhelmed because we don't produce those. So what I'm trying to say to my young leaders out here who are under 40, there is enough opportunity for you to start and scale up a business on these lines where you got to actually see the mindset change in the minds of the consumers. There's a whole lot of cultural mind shift change. Let me tell you, out of those 300,000 consumers in subscription service, 50% are families. So it's no longer a taboo that you go to somebody else's house and he says, oh, I own a rental water purifier. Doesn't matter as long as it's giving him experience, seamless experience. So there you go, leaders. My whole idea of telling you about this particular business model was, I was enthralled the other day by the kind of businesses which you have started, where your whole focus has been on consumer experience, and how because of that consumer experiences you have derived brilliant business models. So go and look out these cultural mindset changes, which is happening rapidly by the day. Being a CEO and a managing director for the last 13 years, I probably have lost much of my, probably my hair and mare is grayed in the last 2.5 years, because the dynamism and the consumer changing landscape in the last 3 years post-COVID is happening so fast. The consumers are changing so fast. Let me tell you, before COVID, you could probably sleep for a month and the business would not change. And nowadays, you can't even put off your foot off your pedal for even a day. The dynamism and the business landscape changing is very rapid. I would urge all my young leaders out here to keep on looking at these mindset changes, keep on looking at those cultural nuances which the Indians are adopting at a much faster pace than anywhere else in the globe. We are very, very fast adapters. If you see, modern trade came in America in 1962s, then mobile came in 1980s, then e-commerce started with Amazon in 1992. But when you see, and pagers came in 1970, but you see in India, the pagers were launched in day one, year one, the mobiles came in year two. Modern trade got launched, modern trade large format stores we saw in India in year one, and e-commerce got launched in year three. So we are very, very rapid adapters. And hence the dynamism, the business model changes, we all should clearly follow and watch out for. And this is my just, my 2 cents on, how we as the young business leaders sitting out here should keep on looking at the evolving landscape, and particularly the cultural mindset changes, which is happening very rapidly, let me tell you. And I wish you all the best. I know we had some of the brilliant nominations out here, and obviously not everyone could have won, but some of the work done was really exemplary, and would love to keep in touch with those young leaders in future. Thank you from my side. Thanks a lot.